heading for the hangman. I remember. I visited with Albert that last night.
Beg for my life? Lucy, do you really want me to?
Albert, I want you to live.
But at what price? It's not my warrior princess, be honest. If you were here and I was there, would you do anything different? We're shaking the world, darling.
But you'll be gone, and I'll still be here. I won't make it.
You will.
No, I don't want to. I can't.
Hey, promise me, you've got to go on. You and Junior and Lulu, because this doesn't end here. This is just the beginning.
We can't know the future, Albert. Just what we lose on the way.
Not only that, also what we can gain. We're going to win, I know it. There aren't many things worth dying for, honey, but this. Human freedom for workers everywhere.
But Albert, if I asked you to write that letter, would you?
Have I ever been able to resist you?
So you say.
I love you.
I love you too, honey.
You see those two, huh? They think love conquers all. Bourgeois claptrap. The only thing that conquers is the one with the biggest balls. They want to hang Louis Lingg. How do they say it? Fat chance. They are not in charge. That the sheep wait for the slaughter. Louis Lingg has other plans. And there it is. Well made. Everyone loves a good cigar. And first you bite off the tip.
The dynamite cap blew off the bottom of his handsome face. They left him in his cell for hours till he died.
One could envy his passion.
A fool could.
Spending their last nights listening to that. It must have made the others crazy.
I don't know why it didn't. They were ready. At 2 a.m, Albert was entertaining prisoners and gods with a poem recited from memory. He came to terms with it better than I ever have. I've always wondered how. Maybe he still expected a last-minute reprieve. It never came. And the next morning, I went early with the kids for our last words with Albert. The crowd was already larger than what we had had at the Haymarket. We tried to get through. It was all a blur. The crowd outside the jail, the police, shotguns, pistols. God, I almost couldn't breathe. None of it made sense. And all I wanted was to get past them all, to see them, to tell them, write it. Write the damn letter. My husband is inside. Let us by. But the bull said he couldn't, and he sent us down the line to the next corner and the next. It was one of those cold November days, and Lulu started turning blue. We were promised, I told them, but it didn't matter. Finally, I just ran across the police line, and I yelled, "You are murdering my husband, why not kill me too?" That got their attention. So they sent us, me, the children, my friend Lizzie, down the line to see a captain, I think, and he says, "Sorry, but got no word about it." I begged him, asked someone, I said, "Please, I just want to say goodbye." So he looks at me and he says, "Come with me. Let's see what we can do." And I was desperate enough to believe him. Soon as we got round the corner, I saw the patrol wagon. But before I could do anything, they grabbed us and they threw us inside.
What happened?
They took us to the station at Chicago Avenue. Down and down to the basement cells. Hold them till it's over. That was the order. Then this guard comes in.
"All right, strip."
Strip?
All of you.
even the children, stripped and searched and locked in separate cells. It was cold, so cold, and silent, deadly silent. And why? I mean, with the sight of a wife, a mother? No anarchists can't be allowed to look human, can they?
How long were you there?
I don't know. Long enough for them to march Albert and the other 3 to the gallows. Almost 200 witnesses were watching. That's what I heard afterward. Even members of the jury. By this time, there were hoods over their heads and nooses around their necks. And Spee spoke first.
The time will come when our silence will be more powerful than the voices you strangle today.
Then Fisher.
Hooray for anarchy!
And Engel.
This is the happiest moment of my life.
And then Albert.
Will I be allowed to speak? Men of America, let me speak. Let me speak. Let the voice of the people be heard.
We're almost done here. Judge Gary, the judge in the Haymarket case, recently published an article in the Century magazine. Although written nearly 6 years after the trial, it is yet full of venom. Pretending to simply review the case, he makes an insinuating attack on one of the lawyers for the defense, not for anything done at the trial, but because more than a year later, when some of the defendants had already been hung, he ventured to express a few kind, if erroneous, sentiments over the graves of his dead clients, whom he at least believed to be innocent. But such charges are of a personal character. And while they seem to be sustained by the trial record and the papers before me, and tend to show the trial was not fair, I do not care to discuss this feature of the case any further. On the other hand, I am convinced it is clearly my duty to act in this case for the reasons already given. And therefore, I hereby grant an absolute pardon to Samuel Fielden, Oscar Neebe, and Michael Schwab this 26th day of June, 1893. Well, there it is.
I didn't understand. I'm sorry, really.
You weren't even born then. And history fades.
It doesn't have to.
True. You know, we did put up a monument for them, the martyrs. June 25th, 1893 in Waldheim Cemetery. Albert Jr. did the honors. He was still only 14. I remember they played the Marseillaise, and then the very next day, Alcott issued the pardons.
It hurt his career pretty badly, I heard.
I guess. Could have been president, so they say, if he hadn't done the right thing. But he did. At least Bonfield and Shack were gone by then.
Really? What happened?
accepting bribes, stolen goods, too dirty even for Chicago. They may even have set up the bombing themselves.
But we'll probably never know for sure.
Suppose not. All that ancient history. Yet here we are almost 30 years later, still making the same mistakes.
Yes, I see that now.
But you know, what matters most isn't the regrets or vengeance or even winning the fight. It's what we do each day to keep our dreams and their memories alive. At least that's what I tell myself. They weren't perfect men, James. But they died for something.
Yes. I think I know what we should do now.
What?
Complete this interview. Just one or two more questions.
Go ahead.
So you swear that you have no information about any plans to damage property or disrupt business with violence in the city of Chicago?
Whatever you like, yes.
And you also swear that you personally have no intention to damage people or property?
All right. I swear.
Good. Then we're done here. You're free to go.
Can you do that?
I'm doing it.
But what about Agent Hoover?
Special agent. He's in Centralia by now. Plenty of evildoers to threaten up there.
A very sick man. Should have quite a government career.
Did you see those index cards of his? It's just the beginning. He seems to want files on everyone.
He may get his wish.
That's what I'm afraid of.
So will he be upset with you?
Outraged. I expect. Don't worry. I'll deal with it. Or find a new career.
Good plan.
We'll see. But you go now. Get out of here.
Don't have to ask me twice. What day is it?
November 13th.
Oh, I've been in here that long?
Yeah. And I'm sorry about the Haymarket commemoration.
Oh, don't worry about that. We'll have another one next year. But thank you.
No, Lucy. Thank you.
Inquisitions and Other Un-American Activities was written by Greg Guma, directed by Bill Boardman, audio designed by Steve Osterland, and co-produced by Toward Freedom and the Catalyst Theater Company. The Inquisitions acting ensemble includes Sandra Gartner as the older Lucy Parsons, Sheila Collins as the younger Lucy, Malcolm Purrington as Albert Parsons, Mike Boland as Agent James Dell, Martin Pincus as Governor John Altgeld, Chris Lloyd as Henry Demarest Lloyd, Alex Ball as J. Edgar Hoover.